Hey everyone, Jeremy here. It is Thursday night and we're going to create some art. It's going to be awesome. I always have to remind myself what day it is because I kind of get a little lost. But it is Thursday night. In fact, it's 1 week out from Halloween, which is one of my favorite holidays. And what we're working on tonight is continuing with the Halloween theme. We've been doing a couple of pictures. I think we did Bigfoot, which is kind of Halloweeny. We did a black cat with a pumpkin. Tonight we're going to do a really creepy skull. I like drawing skulls. I've drawn one or two of them on this channel. I just like how they look. They're really cool. People enjoy them, so I enjoy doing them. But it is Halloween. We got our little black dog over here. Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up. Yeah, so I'm just going to jump right in and start drawing this skull. If you're into that kind of thing, feel free to hang out and chat with me. Otherwise, just sit back and watch, and we'll have a good time. Let me jump in here. So we do have a couple people in the room already. We've got Richard, we got Kid. That's enough for a party, so this is going to be great. So yeah, like I said, we are going to be drawing a skull. I kind of like outlined just a little bit of where I think the skull should be. But the twist here is that the skull is going to be kind of lit by a candle. So I'm going to start by drawing the candle first, just because I wanted to kind of have this like kind of glowing skull face. I'm not really sure how this is going to turn out, to be honest, because I haven't done something like exactly like this before. But I think it'll turn out all right. Particularly, I haven't drawn fire before on black paper, so I'm not really sure how this is going to go, but I think it'll be kind of cool. It's just like a little flame of a candle. I think it'll be neat. Yeah, Geppetto's still got the pumpkin. He's in jack-o'-lantern mode. He's actually protesting. He's mad at me. I don't know why, but he's hiding his face because he's disgusted with me. Maybe I haven't been doing him justice or something. Stickman looks like a madman. Yeah. Um, I like the movie Nightmare Before Christmas. So, in my mind, he's pulling off a Jack from Nightmare Before Christmas kind of look. So I'm trying to get like it's not really showing up very well, but I'm trying to get some blue into this candle flame, just because it'd be like hotter towards the bottom. And I'm not really sure how to make this really glow because it is on black paper. I want it to glow, but we'll see. We'll get this going. Like the candle's like the least important part, so if the candle doesn't work out, it's fine. So hopefully you guys are doing well and having a great week. I know my week's been pretty busy. Just doing all the things. I do think we're going to have like a shared stream next week. I don't know if it's going to be on one of my regular scheduled days or on like a Wednesday or something, but I've got two people who have expressed interest in like, kind of co-hosting my show with me. So like we draw while like both of us draw while the stream's going on. Maybe three or more people. That would be kind of cool. So you guys can expect that next week. Hopefully next week. I have to actually confirm with them what days are available. Hey, because I can's in here. Cool. That's one of them. And then Rome Dog also said that he might want to co-host with me. So I don't know how to get this like really white. I guess that looks white enough on screen where I feel comfortable with it. But I definitely want to get a nice little candle in here. So the idea is that the skeleton is alive, kind of like animated, and he is holding this candle, which is kind of lighting up his face. So hopefully I can pull that off. Let's see how it goes. It's kind of hard to draw like bright light, but we'll do our best. And maybe that I have to come back over some of this stuff later, but I just wanted to get a candle going. Let's see. Is the white of the candle kind of comes down. Oh, we got Rum Dog in here now. Cool. If the white of the candle kind of comes down, I want it to kind of be a little bit violet, I guess. Yeah, that's violet. Cool. Some of that stuff doesn't really translate well to the camera, but that's okay. This is the boniest person I've ever drawn. this, this guy is super skinny. He needs some meat on his bones. Hey, Kevin's in the house. Cool. Yeah, hopefully you guys are having a great week. I am so like, today it's Thursday. So when you go, the thing I like about Thursdays is when you go to bed, you wake up and it's Friday. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing with my weekend. I want to go out and do Halloweeny things, but I don't know what's available out there. I think they had all the Halloween stuff last weekend, but like, when you become an adult, there's only so many things that are available to you for Halloween. It's not like you go trick or treating or anything like that. And I don't know. I'm not the kind of guy that goes to like costume parties or any. I don't even know if any of my friends ever hosted a costume party, but if they did, maybe I would go. But it's not like any of those things are going on that I'm aware of, so I have no idea what to do. I mentioned the other day that where I live. I live in Lexington, Kentucky. For those of you who are just tuning into this show, never don't know me, don't know anybody else. I live in Lexington, Kentucky, and we're known for like a thriller parade. It's actually like it's in like one of the top 10 like Halloween destination things in the United States. It's really kind of cool. It started as kind of like a little flash mob thing where this group of dancers all decided to get together and just kind of like do this little impromptu thriller dance. The whole Michael Jackson, like, doing, I can't do it. Like, I don't know if I can shake my head like Michael Jackson. But anyway, thriller dance. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys have seen the thriller video. Um, so they met up to kind of like reenact this. And I don't know how many years ago that was. I want to say it was like 20 years ago or something, but they still do it. They do it every year. And it's grown so big that, like I said, it's actually one of the top 10 destination things for Halloween. So if you're ever in the area for Halloween, that's a must see thing. 12.7 lumens, one candle. Huh. I don't know if I can get this as bright as I want it to. Like that's what kind of sucks. Like I might have to come back over it with some more pastels here in a minute and try to like really get it bright. But all I wanted to do was like put the candle in, so I feel like I'm comfortable with that. Now I can move on to the skull itself. Uh, let's see. I think my strategy is going to be to kind of like outline the skull lit up parts and then kind of backfill some of the darker parts. I think that's my strategy here. Jeremy, we can call him Mr. Jones. You can call the skeleton guy whatever you want. He's dead. You don't care. Mr. Jones. Bag of bones. I love Halloween. I love all the TV shows for Halloween. I've been watching What We Do in the Shadows. You guys ever watch that? It's kind of a comedy about this like coven of vampires that live. Um, I think it was that I forget the guy's name, but it's based on a movie, and they decided to turn it into a TV show. I'm sure you guys have heard of it, even if you haven't seen it. But I love that show. Um, I've been watching that. I've been watching Agatha all along on Disney. Yeah, I gotta say that started out kind of weak for me. The first episode was good, and then it kind of like was a little lacking. This last episode, the one from yesterday, maybe today, it was pretty good. One of the best of the bunch, in my opinion. So I don't know. Not everybody is into Marvel stuff, but I'm actually enjoying Agatha all along. That's pretty good. I want to get into like some more scary movies. Oh, Kevin loves. I assume you're talking about What We Do in the Shadows. I love that show. I love. My favorite guy is the English guy on there. He's been in some other things. He was in The Office. Not The Office. Sorry. Not The Office. IT Crowd. He was in the IT Crowd. Um, That guy's just hilarious. I forget his name. I'm just not good with names anyway, but he is a hilarious guy. But what we do in the shadows is super good. Like I have not seen a bad season of it. Like I know it's not for everybody, but for me, it's just hilarious, and I can watch that all the time. It amazes me that they were able to make like a almost like an office style park and recreations kind of show out of a bunch of vampires. It's pretty good stuff. So if you haven't seen that, I recommend it. Not for everybody. Like I don't think it's I don't think it's too bad. Like I wouldn't let kids watch it. It's probably not good for kids because there is like some gore on it. And I do think they cuss on it. I don't remember. It's on FX, so I like I think they drop a few swear words every now and then, but beyond that, it's pretty good. So maybe not let your kids watch it, but if you're an adult, you can watch it. It's got some maybe adult content a little bit, not like adult content, but just like I don't know, probably not for kids. So we're starting to get some glowing on this skull, which I think is cool. I like drawing skulls. I mentioned at the beginning, like I really enjoy drawing skulls. The reason why I like drawing skulls so much is like every now and then I'm not a very confident artist. You guys know this about me already, but I always think I'm not doing, you know, the whole art thing properly. It comes from being self-taught where you don't have like an instructor telling you that you're not doing the right things or whatever. So you kind of like left to your own devices. So I do things like I look up like, well, what should I draw? Like what should I be drawing to learn how to draw, things like that. And you know, anatomy comes up a lot, like just human anatomy in general. But when you get down to it, like the whole skeletal system, they recommend learning how to draw that, just so that you know what's under the skin. Like if you're going to be like a portrait artist or something, you're going to be drawing people's face. You need to know what's underneath the face, right? So like you need to know how the skull works, how muscle works on top of it. I'm not claiming I know all these things. I'm just saying that that's the kind of stuff you should know if you're gonna like go off and do pictures of people. Um, and you don't. It's not like you have to be It's not like you have to be a doctor or something to be able to draw people, but it is helpful to know anatomy and skulls, um, bones, skeletons, things like that. It's good for learning how to draw people, but also it's kind of like there's this long tradition of like anatomy type drawings because if you go back to the old days before cameras and stuff like that, all you had was art, like all you had was drawings and illustrations and paintings and stuff like that. It's not like you had photography. It's not like you can go and look up a like like a magazine spread or something of people or anything like that. So you really only had the illustrations and like science books and things like that. So again, it's just like a time honored tradition of like drawing anatomy, skulls, things of that nature. So I feel like a real artist if I could pull it off. Um, I've done a few skulls, or at least one. I don't know how many I've done, but I did one for like Halloween last year, I think. It was pretty cool. Fiddled out a little. I don't know what that means. That sounds like a reference to the Mr. Jones thing you mentioned earlier. Somebody suggested I should do like a flaming skull or something. Hey, what are we drawing tonight? Jeremy Rome Dog says. So we're drawing a skull, like a creepy skull for Halloween that is kind of lit up by this candle over here. So we've got this candle going, got this nice little flame. I'm gonna work on this a little bit, try to get it brighter, but it's illuminating the skull. So really what we're drawing tonight is light. We're drawing light. Um, I like doing this. I've talked about drawing light on black paper. Like whenever you're drawing on black paper, you're drawing the things that are lit up and not the opposite. Like when you're drawing on white paper, you're drawing the shadows. Here you're drawing the the things that get lit up. And in this case, we actually have the light source in the picture. It's not like we're relying on some external light source. We have the candle in the picture, so we know where it's at, and we're just building things around it. It's kind of still trying to kind of figure out where some of these features are in the face. Once I'm more happy with like how everything is in here, I'll probably like add a little bit of detail and kind of like lighten things up and a little bit more, and you guys know how it goes. The artist feels their way around the paper trepidatiously. Is that a word? Trepidatiously? I think it is. Tentatively. Yeah, everything on the paper is tentative. So I am using pastel pencils here, by the way, in case you weren't aware. Well, you'd only be aware if I had said it, and I don't think I said it. So you can do the same with colored pencils. I'm using pastel pencils here to kind of get like a smoky look. As I move along, as I blend things, I think it'll be a little bit smoky. Um, and then, when I get into like the back of the skull and stuff like that, I intend to put in like a lot of area pretty quickly. So I have like the stick pastels for that. I'd love to find a solution for like doing stick colored pencils, like where you have colored pencils that are wax based, like the Prismacolors, and then you can put in like large swaths of area. The only thing I can think of for that maybe is like, I don't know, like oil pastels, and I've never been happy with oil pastels. Maybe it's just the oil pastels that I buy are so cheap and they're just like I've just never been happy with them. Never liked how they turned out. I like the chalk pastels a lot more. Because again, it says driving in Indiana currently, but listening, yeah, make sure you pay attention to the road. Do not pay attention to my drawing if you're driving. Um, you're not the first person who said that they were watching this while driving. That makes me nervous, but I'm not gonna preach to you or anything. I just think you should make sure you pay attention to the road. You don't want to end up like this guy, the skull guy. You should not be looking at what I just referred to. But yeah, there's some classic staples of Halloween. You got like, I don't know, black cats, you got pumpkins, you got skeletons. Um, I think at some point I might try to tackle a ghost, but I haven't really decided like what kind of a cool picture a ghost might make. We'll have to give that in some thought. Like I can do the whole like white sheet, black eyes kind of thing. Um, but I wanna put some thought into it, see if I can come up with something a little more interesting than that. But we'll see how it goes. I've got two more drawings after this that are specifically Halloween related. And then I don't know, I might get a little crazy and do something that's not Halloween. Like usually whenever I do like themed pictures and stuff, I get kind of bored of the themed pictures and I try to do something else to fill in the gap and then I come back to it. So we'll see how it goes. Like at Christmas, I do a bunch of Christmassy pictures, but then I also put in like one that's not. All right, so I'm pretty happy with how that looks. So I'm gonna move on to just filling in some of this back area here. So I'm using a stick for this just so that it goes pretty quick. Not a lot of detail back here. It's all lost in shadows. Um, but I do need to like get it in there because it is there. And what I meant about like the smokiness to it is I can easily just kind of blend that in, and it becomes almost like um, clouds, almost like clouds, almost like smoke. That's why I said smoky. So I have to be careful not to like overdo this stuff because like again, I don't want very much detail back here at all. Just kind of want the idea that there's a skull there. So you've got different parts of the skull as well. So like obviously this frontal stuff, the eye socket, the nose socket, things like that, that's going to be lit up because it's catching the light that's in front. But even back here, you have to pay attention to um, the structure of the skull. It's not just like a big dome or something. It's not like you're wearing a helmet underneath your skin. There is some structure to it. So like for example, there's this I don't know what it's called, but there's this kind of cavity that's kind of built in right between your eye socket and your ear hole. Um, so there is this ridge here. So you got to make sure that that's represented. And I'll come back and add some highlight to that later, but I want to kind of pencil or like get the roughness of this stuff in. And then you've got this bit up here that forms like the brow and stuff. Hey, Willy Nilly's in the house. Cool. Freaking gnat flying around. I'm gonna kill it. So you got this kind of brow going up here. So some of this stuff is going to catch the light, and then some of it is just has to be kind of hinted at a little bit. But I'm just going to get a lot of this in with a this kind of brownish pastel. It's kind of hard, like when you're not dealing with like hair and eyebrows and things like. It's a little hard to get the shape of the skull. Um, people have different shapes of skulls. Like there are like skulls come in all different shapes and sizes. They're just as unique as people are and body types and so on. Like you you have some people that their skulls are misformed at birth, and if like there's a freaking net. Sorry, I've been chasing that thing all day. Um, so yeah, you've got skulls that are misformed at birth. There's people who like I think there's some cultures that purposely try to like shape their skulls in a certain way. It's all it's all kind of interesting because like when you're first born, your skull is like malleable. It's rubbery, something like that, and it can be shaped. I don't know too much about it. I'm not a doctor, but bottom line is if you end up drawing a skull, don't stress it too much if it doesn't look right because skulls do come in different forms. But what I like about like stick pastels is you can get in these like large areas pretty quick, and then you know come back and work over those things. I'll probably have to go over each of these things several times after I blur them out and kind of put in some more layers above them. All right, so I think this is a pretty good shape of the skull. Looks pretty good. Okay, you got kind of like the ear socket back here. You got this kind of coming back here. You got the jawbone, mandible. Uh, I really need to look this stuff up. But that kind of comes down like this. Rome Dog says, when I draw skulls, it's my dark feeling being released. There you go. That's the spirit of Halloween. I like it. I think the hand there, it's kind of like, I think I'm gonna have like the jaw kind of come down here. It's a little tough to get the proportions right. Kind of want, I mean, you have to kind of eyeball it, but also you want to make sure that you get it kind of realistic. I think like the little jaw here. Again, I don't have to be perfect here because there's layers that are going over this. But I still want to kind of be in the ballpark. I think this is probably the bottom of the mustachy area. I don't know what you would call that. The the top of the teeth line, and then probably like the bottom. I feel like it needs to come down a little bit more. So I'm going to make the adjustment. I'm going to go ahead and call it to bring the jaw down to there. And this is what's nice about like having things kind of sketched in is you can move things around until you feel comfortable with it. So I think that's pretty good for. Let's go ahead and. So I didn't treat this paper beforehand, by the way. So there is like barely any tooth to this, which is fine for this particular picture. But if you ever want to do a um, pastel picture on paper and you don't have like special pastel paper, you might want to give it a little bit of tooth by adding some clear gesso to it. I've gotten kind of lazy in recent pictures where I haven't really been applying that stuff, but I do recommend it if you're really concerned about it. I'm not concerned. This picture is not going up on any walls or anything like that. It's just fun. All right, so I think that's good for like the mouth area. Get some base in there. Some base up in here. As you can see, I'm just gently putting down like a base layer and then kind of blending it in almost immediately. None of this stuff is the detail layer. It's just kind of like a backdrop for that. All right. So down here, I don't really want to get kind of crazy with like the whole neck stuff. Like I want to hint at it, but I don't really want to like go into like details on it. Um, but I do want some bones down here because they would be kind of lit up a lot. Get like the clavicles. I think those are what those are called. And then the sternum, I guess, which is like the breastbone. And again, I don't have to put in like a lot of detail. I'm just smudging in areas for it so that I know where these things are. All right, so now he's holding this candle. I pulled over for arrest. Nice. I like it. Cool. Yeah, that makes me feel so much better because again, like you really shouldn't be you know, I mean listening is fine while you're driving and stuff like that, but you want to like take a peek at what I'm working on and stuff. I really don't feel comfortable you doing that while driving. All right, so he's holding this candle, um, and I decided I didn't really want to do like full bone fingers and stuff, just because I have trouble drawing hands anyway. Um, so in my mind, he still has some meat on his bones when it comes to like his I want to say paw on his hands. So you got kind of like a finger pointed out and then kind of curled back, and then this finger kind of comes in over the candle and is holding it, and then there's like a fourth finger down here or something like that. So I think that's about where everything's going to be. Pretty happy with it. So now I can kind of get back into doing some of these upper layers. I'm going to grab this one here, and I want to add some structure to this skull. I do like drawing skulls. It's so much fun. I love I love Halloween. Um, I draw so many animals and wildlife and stuff. I should really try to do like an animal skull at some point. Like I don't know, like deer skulls or like that was Georgia O'Keeffe's whole thing. Like she would do like cow skulls and I mean she lived out in the desert where these things would like die and just kind of like leave their skulls behind. Like that's all that's left out there. But I think that would be kind of fun a little bit, drawing skulls. I don't know. I try to be like a positive channel. So like at Halloween, it's okay to like get into like scary things and stuff. I don't know how I feel about doing it the rest of the year. Drawing skulls. There's some artists that's like all they do. Like that's their thing. You know, they like to draw skulls. They like to draw haunting type things, supernatural stuff. Some people are really, really good at it. And more power to them. You know, like they're every artist should really find something that they enjoy doing and specialize in it. So I should also mention, like most of you guys know this stuff. You guys are smart people, but the skull, like when you're first born, isn't really fully formed. It comes in pieces and stuff, and these things kind of mold together and stuff. So it leaves these like little hairline cracks. Um, as it like comes together and stuff. So you kind of have like if you're drawing a skull, you have to put those cracks in there. It's not like this guy got his skull busted or something and that's why he's dead. That is actually how the skull looks. It's I don't know how many plates there are. Like I want to say four or more, but they kind of fuse together in your early years or like I don't know. I don't know how kids work. You're not you don't have a fully formed skull when you were born. Kind of just molds together. The women in this room are like, Jeremy has no idea how kids work, and yeah, it's true. I don't know how kids work. My understanding is that newborns have a hole in their head, and some adults do too. Um, yeah, I would draw them every day for years. It didn't help being in prison. What, drawing skulls while you were in prison? Is that what you're saying? Because the can says I went to three separate car rental places yesterday and they were all sold out. That is amazing. Because like, what is going on out there in the world that car? Because I know where you mentioned where you were heading and stuff, and it's like to me, it's like why are car rental places sold out for that area? It's so surprising to me. FFA convention. Oh, okay. Hallmark cards. It'd be cool. Somebody's probably already done this. Like every cool idea I come up with, somebody's already done. But it would be kind of cool to have like skull Hallmark cards. Um, could you imagine opening like a birthday card? Like, yeah, you're one year closer to looking like this guy. Uh, I think that'd be funny. Or I don't know. I can't think of anything better than that. That's actually pretty good. You're one year closer to looking like this guy. That'd be a great birthday card. I feel like I'm a fan of Wednesday Adams and the Wednesday show, and I just like her philosophy. How like she's like I don't know. She embraces things like skeletons and creepiness and stuff like that. I could picture her saying something like, "Congratulations, you're one day or one year closer to looking like this skeleton here." I haven't drawn on Wednesday Adams in a while either. I was on this kick where I was drawing what's her name? Jenna Ortega a lot just because she has these great symmetrical features. And like I don't know, people always searching for like um Wednesday Adams picture. Like I actually have a really good Wednesday Adams drawing on this channel where I drew her in charcoal once, and I think it turned out really good. It's one of my more favorite videos. Like there's analytics on these videos and stuff, so sometimes I go and peek at those just to see what people are interested in. The Wednesday Adams one, and I drew it like last year sometime. That shows up a lot where people are enjoy that one. But I haven't drawn her in a while. I feel like when with season two coming out soon, it makes sense to maybe tackle that again. She's easy to draw. She's got these symmetrical features that are like really easy to like if you're gonna draw like a portrait of somebody, you really you don't want to like I don't want to say this meanly because like people come in all shapes and sizes and stuff like that, so you don't really need a perfect face in order to draw somebody, but you don't really want to draw people who like their face is all messed up. Like I don't have a symmetrical face, so like one side of my face feels more lopsided than the other. I would not enjoy drawing myself. Um, that said, you know, people do come in all shapes and sizes. So if you're going to be a portrait artist, you got to get used to drawing different people as they come, not how you want them to be. So some of this I want to kind of like blur out, and then some of it I want to kind of leave a little bit grainy because again, the head has some texture to it, or the skull. So it's okay to leave like signs of your presence as an artist in the picture. Again, like there's this little crack in the head up here. Um, doesn't mean the guy met an untimely death. It's just the way they come. Actually, when they dig up like ancient Egyptian uh, mummies and stuff like that, they often have actual holes in their head. Apparently, the medicine of the day, I don't know what sort of ailments you had that required somebody to drill a hole in your head, but it was pretty common for them to drill holes in people's heads. I don't know if that was to like ward off evil spirits or like, why there were so many skulls with holes in their head, but apparently that was a thing I learned from watching History Channel. I love watching History Channel. I love watching history shows, particularly drunk history, because I drink a lot. Um, I'm a fan of drunk history. I think most of like everything I know about history or recall about history, because it's been a while since I've been in school, it comes from drunk history. So again, a lot of texture in the skull. So you got this little cavity that kind of comes down. Maybe that's come in just a little too much there. Clear that out. There we go. Clear that up a little bit. So you have this like indentation here, and then it kind of comes back out where you kind of have this like bulbous part. I don't I don't know how I should say that. And then like some more crack coming up through here. Ridges. You have a lot of ridges in your head, in your hair. Mystery box card. I did those two in prison. One card would get me five soups or one cigarette. By soups, you mean the like those ramen noodle soups, right? I love ramen noodle soups. Five soups sounds like a better deal than one cigarette roam. Hey, that's true. I used to smoke. I used to, man, I smoked for many years. It was a tough thing to quit. Best thing I ever did. If there's anybody out there still struggling with stopping smoking, let me know because I have some tips and stuff about that. It was tough for me to quit, and happy to say that I haven't smoked in, you know, 10 years or more. Um, but I know like it is really one of the toughest things that you ever have to do if you were a former smoker. Like back in the day, people did that kind of stuff. Like kids are like, why would anybody smoke? Yeah, exactly. But back in the day, people did, and you have a whole like generations of people who have tried to quit smoking and stuff and found it very difficult. Um, for me, it was I'm a creature of habit, so it like I had to get over the habit of smoking. So there's a lot of things that go along with smoking that makes it hard to quit. I I would always like have a cigarette when I was out walking the dog or you know just being outside or something like that. So even after I quit, like um, it was kind of weird to not have a reason to go outside and stand around and like, just people watch or whatever the case may be. Um, Little things like that. Um, you'd have like a cigarette after you ate or something. So like you had to get over that, like you just ate a meal and it's like, oh, well, now I usually have my cigarette and now I'm really noticing that I'm not having my cigarette, that sort of stuff. So it's tough because there's all these other things that are associated with smoking that it's tough to get over. But anyone can do it. You can do it. My dad did it. My dad smoked for I don't know, like since he was a teenager, and probably like 50 years he smoked or whatever. He got over it, and it was tough for him. It's always tough, but you can do it. Anybody can do it. Jeremy, people still smoking, addiction of pain. Yeah, like there are people out there smoking, and I feel bad for the kids because the kids are on these like vapes and stuff like that. Uh, it's not the same thing, but it is still kind of like I don't know. You're still addicted to the nicotine and all that stuff. You're kind of setting yourself up for failure. But I'm also like pretty libertarian when it comes to like these type of things, like health things. It's like I'm of the opinion that you know, until you turn 30, you can basically do whatever you want. You can torture your body, you'll recover from it. After you turn 30, then you should, and that's what it was for me. Like once I turned 30, I'm like, oh, I need to quit smoking. Um, but before you turn 30, do whatever you want. Don't listen to people. Go out there, have fun, be a kid, enjoy your life. There's people who's going to tell you that you're living your life the wrong way, and you probably are because you're a kid. That's what you do. Um, but just realize that once you turn 30, once you have kids, once you have like, once you get married, once you start living like an actual life and stuff, you're going to want to rein in some of those behaviors. But until you turn 30, have go nuts. Enjoy your life. Have a good time. You can make better decisions about your life so that it's easier for you later in life, but you've got time. So inside the octal cavity or whatever, I'm going to use some red. It probably won't show up on camera very well, but I'm going to use some red in there because it's kind of like glowing. And there's features inside of the skull as well, like like people using these emoticons. You always only ever see these like black holes and stuff. No, there's structure inside the eyeballs too. So obviously your eyes have to attach to something. There's there's stuff up in there, and then like like this part here, it kind of fades back into the eye. So there's bits of that too. Make the urge to live longer greater than the urge for a cigarette. There you go. Exactly. Listen to kids. She's got words of wisdom for us. And what it was for me, the way that I quit smoking is I love how we're drawing a skull and talking about all these different ways to die. So like, yeah, if you continue smoking, you will look like this guy. Um, you know, don't smoke because you don't want to be a skeleton. But no, it's the way I ended up quitting smoking is like I said, I'm a creature of habit, and I'm really good at talking myself into things, right? So like it, I can convince myself, like if I really wanted to, I can convince myself of anything. I can tell myself that I'm a great artist, right? And I may not be a great artist when I first tell myself that, but I can work with it. And if I start off with the idea that I can be a great artist, eventually I might actually get there. So that's how it was with me quitting smoking. I convinced myself that I was a non-smoker, right? So that's the thing. It's like if you think of yourself as a smoker, you're going to pick up a cigarette. But if you're not a smoker, you're not going to buy the cigarettes. You're not going to pick up the cigarette. You're not going to like go asking somebody if you can bum a cigarette because you're not a smoker. And that's what it was for me. I basically just kind of brainwashed myself into thinking, well, I'm not a smoker. So since I'm not a smoker, I don't buy cigarettes. And that's the number one thing. Just don't buy cigarettes. If you don't buy cigarettes, then eventually you're going to be like in a position where it's like, I don't have any cigarettes to smoke. Um, but that's what worked for me. It was tough, but eventually I started believing myself when I said, well, I'm not a smoker. But if you continue smoking, you will look like this guy. Don't be a, what do we call this guy? Jones, like Jones Bones kind of skeleton guy. Don't be a Jones. So I'm softening some of this stuff up because like they're not features that are detailed. So like you kind of just smudge them in there, and then like you can add detail over it. All right. So I feel like this guy needs a grill. So we need to get some teeth up in here. So I'm going to work on that next. Yeah, I always refer to like teeth as like a grill. I've always worried about my own teeth. Like I had braces when I was a kid. My parents spent a lot of money on it, and like you know, I've mentioned before, we didn't have like a lot of money growing up in my household. So, and I forget how much my braces cost. I think it was like around 5 grand or something like that. But it was a lot. My dad was a retired military. It's not like we were born rich or anything like that. It's you know, for my parents to reach into their wallet, and I think they bought it on like credit or something like that, so they didn't have to pay all at once. But even so, you know, for my mouth to have cost my parents money, and I don't even think they like I don't think they gave me crap about it. I think it's just in my own mind. I'm like, man, I better take care of my teeth, right? Because oh, kid says the skull is kind of cute. Nice. Um, says he's like, oh, pretty light. Yeah, I got to get his hands in here and stuff. But yeah, absolutely. Um, but anyway, so like my parents gave me braces because my teeth were all jacked up. Like they were, I don't know, pointing different directions and stuff like that. It wasn't pretty. I've got like a mold of what my teeth looked like when I was a little kid, and it is a bit comical, um, but yeah, so like I had teeth going all over the place and stuff. So my parents got me braces, and I wore those braces I think until I was like 16 or so. And you know, I was always worried about like I don't know, getting kicked or something in the face and losing my teeth, or you know, not taking care of my teeth, or something like that, where I was worried that my parents' investment was going to being like wasted or something like that. So I was always like, I would have, I don't know, it's like you get these weird psychological things and everything. For me, it was like I was worried about falling out of bed and like hitting my teeth on the floor or something, losing my teeth. It's just weird. It's just weird the kind of things that kind of grab a hold of a kid. And by kid, I'm talking about like I was a teenager with these kind of neuroses, but I was super worried about it. Um, I don't even know why it's coming out. I think it's because I'm drawing teeth here, but yeah, that was always a thing for me. The other thing is it's kind of weird. I was always worried about that because my parents bought me braces, and I didn't want their money to be wasted. But I never really cared so much about my glasses, right? So I think my parents got me glasses when I was 9 or 10 years old. Um, but I remember I broke them. I broke my glasses when I was a kid, and I didn't want my parents to know because I didn't want them to have to buy new glasses. So they would always be, and I didn't have to wear my glasses all the time when I was a kid. Um, so my parents would be like, "Aren't you gonna wear your glasses and stuff? You know, we're about to watch this movie. Why don't you put your glasses on and stuff?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I can see fine. I don't need my glasses." Truth is, I couldn't see anything. Like everything was blurry and stuff. But I would tell my parents like, oh, I don't need my glasses. It's fine. And the truth is, I had broken them, and I didn't want my parents to know. And I think it was like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years before I ever fessed up that my glasses were broken. I always found some excuse not to wear them, and my parents thought it was like I was just a self-conscious teenager or something like that, and I just didn't want to wear my glasses. No, the truth is they were broke. I didn't mind wearing glasses. I, I I just broke them. That's all. Um, and I never really like the braces. Never. I was never really self-conscious about the braces. And that's kind of weird. Because some kids are, some kids are like, oh, I've got these braces in my mouth. People are gonna make fun of me, things like that. I never really felt that. I don't know why, but like maybe I was just so happy to have braces because my teeth were really jacked up. They were like like they were pretty bad. Um, so I think maybe I was just happy to have braces. But no, those never bothered me. The glasses didn't really bother me except that I broke them and I didn't want to tell my parents. But eventually I did. They got me new glasses. I've been wearing glasses ever since. There's people who get like, I don't know, surgery so that they don't have to wear glasses. Um, I never really considered that. I don't mind the glasses. I really don't. It only really matters to me like when I go to wear like sunglasses or something like that, and I have to take these off and then put prescription sunglasses on and stuff. That's a bit of a pain, but it's all good. There's worse things in life. I'm not sure what to think about skulls. Yeah, you know, we all have them though. It's supposed to be creepy and everything, but if you think about it, we all have these things. I think that looks pretty good. Not too much of a overbite or whatever. Not too bad. Maybe I should have these kind of come in a little bit instead of like I feel like I'm a dentist here, like fixing his teeth. All right, and then there's a bottom row. I do want to bring that in a little bit. Yeah, don't want too much of an overbite. All these different things that you're responsible for as an artist, like you're sculpting teeth, right? So like you're supposed to be like drawing a picture, and here you are sculpting teeth so that he doesn't have it like an overbite, right? So you're like a kind of a wannabe dentist. It's just fascinating to me all the different responses. We talked about that before. It's like sometimes like if you're drawing people, you have to be fashion conscious, right? So like say you're drawing somebody like in a historical setting or something like that from like the 1800s or whatever. You have to be aware of like what the fashion was in the 1800s. Um, when you're drawing a pretty girl or something in a dress or something, it's fine that you draw the pretty girl, but if the dress doesn't look fashionable, then people will be like, "Oh, that dress is terrible. Why'd you put her in that dress?" Um, so like, it's like I don't know. That's what I drew. It's not like I play with dolls and dress them up or anything. I don't know the difference. So all these little side things that you need to know as an artist. It's kind of fascinating to me. Uh, that's kind of why you do these things. Like you draw pictures of skulls and stuff, so you learn anatomy. Like I don't know what this cavity is called, but there's a name for it. I could look that up. I'm sure. It's just interesting stuff. I think ancient skulls all had perfect teeth. This is a modern skull. It's just a skull. I don't think ancient skulls had perfect teeth. If it was so I live in Kentucky, so I feel like I can make this joke. If it was a Kentucky skull, all I'd have to do is draw one tooth, like just one tooth. That's all. It's okay to make fun of Kentuckians. Um, a lot of people out there in Eastern Kentucky kind of struggling and stuff like that. So I don't want to make fun of them too much, but you know, drugs do kind of take your teeth away from you. Uh, so like all the meth heads out there in Eastern Kentucky, this this is not that kind of skull. He does kind of have a personality. Um, let's see. Kind of want this. There is I think it kind of comes down like that. The other side of the is it I think this is the jawbone. Which one's the mandible? Is that the top? Is that the bottom? I don't know. There we go. I think that works. And then bring that around, and then I can put in a few more teeth down here. Again, I don't have to draw like perfect grill because it is a skull. He may have lost some teeth along the way, but now if you were really, really serious about accuracy, you can count how many teeth there are. Like there is a certain amount of teeth that a person's supposed to have. And you can count those, make sure that they're all in there. Um, like the back teeth, those are your wisdom teeth. You need to make sure that those are a certain size or whatever. I'm not doing all of that. I think that still looks pretty good. Truth be told, skull looks cool. Thanks, Alvira. I think I've seen you on here before. Appreciate it. I do appreciate everybody who's come in recently. I've noticed like there's been kind of an uptick in the amount of people that have come through. I appreciate that. Thank you. Sometimes people come in because of my shorts. Like I post up shorts and stuff, and I get subscribers that way, and then they come back to watch these like longer live streams. Um, I have been slacking in posting shorts. I posted one the other day just because I recognized how lacking I had been, but I think I'm going to try really hard to continue doing that because it's been a while since I posted. The problem with the shorts, or the problem with not posting shorts and not making the shorts, is that I also post those to Instagram and TikTok, right? So like if I don't do that, then I'm not posting anything to Instagram and TikTok, and that's kind of that kind of sucks, you know. Those are followers too, you know. Like I should show them some love. Right, so there is definitely like a bright area to here. It kind of comes down. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. Obviously, I need to do a little bit more work up in there. We're an hour in, so I think we're doing fine on time. I do kind of want to move down into like the hand area just to make sure I get that in. And then we can kind of like come back through and add some detail and some highlights and stuff and kind of clean this up. But I feel like this is a good start. I mean, I'm an hour in, so it's a little weird to call it a start, but I feel like this is a good base for our skeleton. In that clavicle. Pretty important pieces of a skeleton. All right, and then I kind of want to get a hand going up in here. Mandible upper and maxilla is mandible is the upper and maxilla is what, this part here, the jawbone or something? I don't know anything about stuff. I don't know anything about anything. All these things that you're saying sound like they're important to know. All right, let me get this hand in here because he needs a hand. I'm going to do this a little bit lighter. I'm going to use this. I know it doesn't look like it to you guys, but this is yellow. It shows up kind of like white, but I get a semi-realistic hand. Again, I'm not trying to go bony on this hand. In my mind, he's still got like a little bit of meat on his fingers. They haven't fully disintegrated off, even though his face has. It's a skeleton. It's magical. Doesn't have to be super realism on how it all works. Usually skeletons don't go walking around with candles anyway. It's just basic physics, biology, I guess, chemistry, life, natural world. Yeah, skeletons don't make a habit of walking around pointing fingers at candles. We're taking a few artistic licenses and liberties here. Hey, JD, new sub. Oh, cool. Thanks. Yeah, so for all of you new people, I do these every Tuesday and Thursday night. I have these live streams. I'm trying to do more standalone videos where they're not like live streams and stuff, but just the way my schedule works, I find it easier to do live streams than to like produce a video and stuff like that. I'm not like a video guy. I'm more like, hey, let's hang out and talk kind of guy. So I do these like every Tuesday and Thursdays. I draw all kinds of different things. I'm on this Halloween skull like kick right now just because of the season. But usually I do like wildlife, pets, things of that nature. Every now and then I try to do like a portrait to varying degrees of success. I should also state that like I am a self-taught artist. Like I didn't go to school for this stuff. Every now and then you'll find like some helpful instruction, I guess, but just be aware that I'm learning still too, and you know, kind of realize some of the pictures I do they're not going to turn out perfect. I do my best. I try. Um, but yeah, that's what you get. It's a great like group here as far as the conversations go. Like everybody here is super nice. Nobody ever fights about anything. So if you'd like to hang out and just chat with people from really around the world, like we've got some people in here from other countries sometimes, mostly the United States, but different parts of the United States. So it's a pretty good diverse group here. But everybody's super nice. So like you're never going to you're never going to get into an argument with somebody here, and no questions are bad. So like if you ever have a question or you just want to like make a comment about something, feel free. Um, Definitely if I say something wrong, feel free to correct me because I realize I'm an idiot and I don't know what I'm talking about most of the time. Like this isn't scripted. I come in here, I just talk and fill the air and stuff like that, and it's fun for me. But I don't really know what I'm talking about half the time. Uh, I certainly don't know much about like what different art supplies work and things like that. There's some observations I've made over the last year or two since I've been drawing that I can offer to like complete novices, like people who are just getting started drawing in general. But beyond that, like I certainly couldn't tell an expert who's like a professional artist what to do because they probably know way more than I do. But that said, I'm happy to give like any kind of like advice or just whatever I think of at the moment. But we also talk about movies and TV shows and pop culture and things like that. So it's not all art up in here. In fact, we probably talk about I don't know, we just talk about all kinds of random things. Like we probably talk about UFOs more than we talk about art up in here. Just because like I like things like that. I like UFOs, Bigfoot, strange stories. Like I really would love yeah, and food. We talk about food all the time. Like basically every single stream, somebody starts talking about food, and then I start getting hungry. So like I eat dinner before I do this, just because I know I'm going to get hungry. But after this, I don't know if it's because I'm drinking the bourbon or whatever, but I get hungry after this, and I'll go and make another plate of food afterwards. You guys are really killing my diet, guys. I'm just gonna say that. Like I try to I try to control my intake, and you guys blow that out of the water by talking about food all the time. And the best food too. Like you guys are. I mean, it is kind of my fault for scheduling it on Taco Tuesday, but you guys have like some really good recipes. Not really recipes. I don't think anybody shares recipes in here, but they just kind of talk about how the things are prepared, and it just sounds really good. I don't know where Hater is, but he was really like he would basically describe everything that he made for dinner, and it was the most amazing stuff. Like I think he mostly made like Indian food, like curry, things like that. Like what is it, chicken? I don't know, like whatever the curry chicken is. But he would talk about that stuff, and I'm trying to be cool and draw and stuff, and but like in my mind, it's like, oh man, that sounds amazing. I want to eat that. Like I recently went to an Indian restaurant just because I was remembering him talking about that kind of stuff. But he hasn't been in a while, so hopefully he's doing okay. Anybody who's stopped by the show and hasn't been in for a while, feel free to like, send up a proof of life, a little flare or something. We think about you now and then. Think about the food that you've eaten. MJ says, Jeremy, love it. Too cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, hopefully this is looking spooky for Halloween for you guys. All right. So I think this is looking pretty good. I want to grab some soft stick pastels and kind of just quickly throw in some larger areas, just kind of bring these out. We're like an hour and 15 minutes in, so I want to kind of move this a little bit closer to done now that we have an idea of where everything is. I do like drawing in pastels, and like I use the pencils a lot and stuff just because it gives you like some pretty good control. But using the edge of one of these stick pastels, this works really well too. You get like blockier areas out of it, but that's fine because you can still kind of control things, and it depends on how much precision that you really need. I feel like when you're working with these pastels, using the edge of one of these pastels is enough. And plus, you can get some really cool, like, I want to say textures out of it. I don't know if texture is the right word. Sorry about that slopping back there. That's my dog. Um, so if you are completely new to this channel, I'd love a subscription, but we uh, we are very pet friendly here. I do a lot of dog drawings and cat drawings and just animals in general. I love animals. I've got two dogs myself. I've got a cat. The cat hates the dogs, but they all get along well enough. So I don't know if you've noticed or not, but like I'm putting in like more looser marks and stuff. I feel like once you have the basics of the skull in there, you can kind of get a little bit looser with the drawings and stuff. It looks more drawn that way. And putting in these highlights and stuff is really bringing out some of these features. Um, it was always the intent to get these things in there. It's just you have to know where the features are before you can kind of come in and highlight them and really bring them out with the stick. So if there's a technique to learn here, you put things in nice and soft and you kind of blur them out, and then you come back and you add detail in the form of like not blurred out bits. I don't know how to describe that. Not blurred out bits. But because the candle's there and it's all lit up and stuff, you really want to get some really bright areas up in here. Because like on that black paper, if it's not super bright, you're not really gonna get the effect that you're looking for, which is kind of like glowing skull. You guys are disgusting. Sorry. Just telling my dogs they probably shouldn't be lapping up water while I'm trying to do this. So good, a lot of light on the face here. I think I've got, yeah, I'm gonna use this orange as well, just because I don't want it to all be yellow. So just kind of get some get some orange up in there as well. It is awesome. Thank you so much, Richard. I appreciate that. I don't know about awesome, but it is cool. I have different scales. Like there's cool, there's awesome. I don't know if this quite is awesome yet, but it is definitely cool. Let me get some color up in here as well. So just these like little highlights and stuff help reinforce things and kind of show off some of the biology. I like it. I think it's looking good. Let me get a little bit of a hint of you know, the vertebrae in here. See, I know some terms. Like I'm not a I'm not um, a doctor or anything like that, but I know some terms. Vertebrae is one. I like doctors can tell you like the something metacarpal. I don't. I think that's actually in your hands. But they can tell you like which vertebrae and all that. I can't do all that stuff. There are some artists that literally go to medical, not medical school really, but they take biology in anatomy classes and stuff just to learn those bits, you know. Which more power to them. That's awesome. Not me, but that's what they do. Um, Alvira says, "Wow, with the hand, it makes it look like a decomposing corpse." Yeah, so he is supposed to be decomposing. He's not quite there, just because I didn't want to draw like bones in the hand. I wanted to draw like more of a like a composed hand that's getting eventually decomposed. All right, let me look at this and see what we're missing here. I think we're getting pretty close to calling this done. Um, Dog sticking a hole in the cushion right there. These dogs, they're so weird. They know they're on camera. Like there's no question about that. Um, they like to perform, I think. They know you guys are watching. I think I'm gonna introduce some blue. Um, just because I feel like blue would look good in certain areas, just as kind of like a highlight. So bear with me 1 second. We are close to done. I just kind of want to get some little things up in here. So I kind of want to introduce a little bit of blue just to have an extra color. Just kind of like cool down the picture a little bit. like it's awfully warm, which is fine because it is like candlelit and everything. But I think that looks pretty cool. And then maybe up in here in the hand a little bit. But I like to draw pretty loosely with pastels. It's not like I'm going for like precision here or anything like that. I mean, it's a Halloween skull, you know. Mama Q says your training and/or instinct with color is spot on. Well, there's no training, so it must be instinct. I appreciate that, Mama Q. Thank you so much. All right, so I think I do kind of want to clean up some of these features. But yeah, I'm happy with like just a little splotches of like blue in there, just to kind of like, again, make it a little bit cooler. I don't want it to be like all one temperature. So I did want to see if so I have this white Rembrandt pastel. I've talked about these before. They're super soft and they go well over other things. I just wanted to see, yeah, see, I felt like I could maybe lighten up this flame a little bit, have that look a little bit more glowy. And then this bit up here, because that's like really lit up. These Rembrandt pastels are really, really good for going back over other stuff that you've done because they're so soft. I bought these like years ago. I don't even know what I paid for them. It was even before I started drawing. I just kind of had them around because I thought like I might do something with them. So I have no idea what they cost, but it's well worth it. Oh, MJ is taking off. Have a good one, MJ. Yeah, I'm wrapping this up here in a minute, so you're not missing much. How are we doing on time? Yeah, it's getting pretty close to it. Actually, it's a little bit early. Usually, for those who are new, these go up to about 2 hours. Like I try to be conscious of time and respectful of people who, you have to go to work tomorrow or school or something like that. I don't want you to up all night, you know, just because you don't want to miss part of this stuff. Um, and this is all recorded, so you can feel free to check back later. Um, but yeah, I do try to keep it under 2 hours, certainly, but I also try to keep it around the hour and a half mark if I can, so that it's not too bad for people. Hey, shush. Sorry. There's a dog outside that's barking, so it's causing my dog to go nuts. Shush. You ain't got nothing to say. That dog doesn't care about you. Sorry, I care about you. I care about you. That's my dog Bear, by the way, for those who are new. The other one, the black and white one, is Guinness, like the beer. So I'm using this white kind of coming back and like highlighting some features just to just make them pop a little bit more, you know? Again, I don't want it to all be yellow. That's really what this is about. It's about adding some highlights, maybe bringing out some of these teeth a little bit. He's got he's got a pretty jacked up grill, but that's okay. He's been in the ground for a little while and just popped out for Halloween. Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. So I think I like the head shape a little bit. I feel like I can make this a little bit more a bit rounder. I think that works. And then bring this down a little bit. because it does kind of like come back. Like you can feel around your own head to kind of see how some of these things go. I'm trying to be realistic to you could draw a skull that doesn't have all of these different features in them and stuff and still get by. Like people will be like, "Oh, that's a skull." It doesn't take a lot to convey a skull, but if you're just really wanting to like get into the anatomy of it and everything, you do kind of want to make sure that all the stuff is in there, or at least I do. I don't know. I feel like anything's worth doing is worth overdoing. That's my that's my little mantra I tell myself. Anything worth doing is worth overdoing. All right, so I'm pretty happy with this guy. I think I'm gonna go ahead and call this done. Just because I'm ready. I don't want to overdo it. I want to kind of keep it loose, a little suggestive of a skull, without like, you know, I don't want. I like to hold people's hands, but not like pull them along. I think I think it's good to be suggestive of different features without like really banging somebody's head over it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so um, fire, Jeremy, great highlights. Thank you, I appreciate that. Alvira gives me a bunch of emoticons. Like it, nice, I like it. I think you did a good job. Michelle P has a question. Is this all soft pastel? Yes. So I've got a couple of different things. I've got these pastel pencils. I forget the name brand of them. It's like Color. I don't know. They're cheap pastel pencils, but I like them. Um, and then I've got a couple of stick pastels. I forget the name of those. And then, for the highlights, this really super soft Rembrandt. But yeah, this is all pastels. Um, you could do this in colored pencils. I think it'd be a little bit more challenging to do it as quickly as I did because, like, getting the softness and stuff, that's all like, you can see on my hands. That's just blending out with your fingers. That's what's great about soft pastels is they do really like create this nice little cloudy mix to them, and then you can kind of come back over them with like details after the fact. That's why I like these soft pastels. But yeah, that's all they are. Again, you could do the same stuff with like colored pencils and other mediums and stuff like that, but I've been using soft pastels for a little while here, and I really like them. The paper is a good thing to mention. So I'm using like mixed media paper here. A lot of times when I do soft pastels, I kind of treat it with this thing here, clear gesso to kind of give it a tooth. I didn't do that in this case just because I knew I wasn't creating like a lot of layers of pastels over it. But just be aware that if you are planning on doing a pastel picture that has a lot of layers, you might want to use that clear gesso just to give yourself a little bit of tooth on the paper. But beyond that, as long as you've got this mixed media paper with a decent amount of tooth, you can do a picture like this. But anyway, it's not my best goal in the world, but I like it. I think it looks kind of cool. I like the colors and the reflection off the light and everything. I think it's pretty cool for Halloween. So I'm gonna call this one done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. It was fun talking to you guys. Um, I will be back on Tuesday with another Halloween inspired picture, and then of course next Thursday is Halloween itself, so I will have to do something special for that. We'll give it some thought. Um, Alvira says, "Have you thought about adding a little halo effect around the flame?" So it would really depend on if there's something like I don't want to really get into it now, but it would depend on if there is a like something like a wall or something behind it. Like obviously, like a like fire is going to have like a little bit of a glow. I tried to get that in here, maybe not perfectly, but if it was reflecting off a wall behind it, then it would kind of have like a little bit of a glow. Let me see if I can just kind of screw it up a little bit real quick while we're talking. Just kind of, get a little bit of a glow going around it. I don't want to get too crazy with it, screw it up at this last moment, but yeah, you can absolutely do that, especially with this, this pastel. It blends really good. It creates this like kind of like smoky look to it and stuff like that. Oh, Ada, I haven't seen you in a while. Sorry, I'm wrapping up and calling it a day, but I'm glad you popped in at the last minute. Haven't seen you in a while. Hopefully, do you guys celebrate Halloween over there in New Zealand? That's what this is for. We're creating like some really cool Halloween pictures. Let me get a little bit more of stuff in there. Anyway, sorry, don't. Yeah, you celebrate Halloween. Awesome, cool. Um, that's what this was for. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I am going to wrap this up. Like I enjoy drawing skulls. I don't know what I'm going to do for the other Halloween pictures, but we'll figure out something. It'll be fun. But I will see you guys on Tuesday. We'll have another Halloween inspired thing. All of you new people, I appreciate you guys stopping in. It's good to meet you. I'm Jeremy. I'm here every week. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks again. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Got to put the dogs out. All right. Bye. Thanks, everyone.